What's up, movie lover badasses? Fat Samurai Guy here with Lady Fat Blood, and today we are going to talk about our top 5 John Carpenter films.
Yes, it's only been 5 years since we promised the top 5 video, and of course this is only our personal opinion. This is not set in stone. This is up for debate. This is our opinion. It's only our opinion. Don't freak out. Don't freak out if your movie's not on our list.
So here we go. Number 5.
It's a bit of a cheat, but number 5 is Body Bags. Yes, in 1994, this was actually my first introduction to the humor and sensibility and just the man, Mr. Carpenter. He directed the segments The Gas Station and Hair, while Tobe Hooper directed the segment The Eye. And aside from directing those two segments, Mr. Carpenter also played the host of the withered and kooky morgue attendant that served as kind of a bumper, an intro, an exit, and a bumper in between the segments of each short film. It was kind of a Tales of the Crypt meets Creep Show, kind of. I believe they had intended to make it a series, but instead they ended up doing the whole, I don't know if it made it to theaters. If it did, it was a limited thing. I know I saw it on Showtime when we actually had premium cable back in the early 90s. So my personal favorite is The Gas Station. I found it to be legitimately creepy, and basically it showcases a woman's fight to survive as a maniac attacks her in the middle of nowhere in a gas station. I really liked the isolation that you felt, and it had a really good feel to it. When I was 13 when I saw it, it kind of got to me a little bit, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. And it's fun to note that there was a cameo by Sam Raimi. Spot that one. And obviously I didn't know who that was back in the day, but now that I know now, it was kind of a fun little nod now that I'm a fan of Mr. Raimi's. And the other segment that Mr. Carpenter directed was Hair, of course, and I found that to be darkly comedic and a little bit tragic. It's basically the story of a guy who desperately tries to recapture his youth via alien hair plugs.
Number 4.
Actually, this is my number 4, but it might be some other number on somebody else's personal preference, so I'm just gonna put in my 2 cents really quick. This one is just a delightful bag of what the hell that could only happen in the 80s. Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell, love him, as the hapless braggart loser Jack Burton, alongside Dennis Dunn's the real hero of the film, Wang Chi, the scene stealer, Victor Wong as Egg Shen, and the never used ever enough in movies, James Hong,
Yes.
as Lo Pan. Oh, love that guy too.
Shut up, Mr. Button!
All these guys combined give us this ridiculous tale of Asian mysticism, featuring, great practical effects, great sets, and costumes. Everything was just, it was gorgeous in that B-movie 80s way. You gotta love it. And sadly, this movie didn't even make half its budget back.
A lot of that is because they didn't really know how to market the movie. Because at the time in the 80s, especially in America, there wasn't really a lot of martial art comedies. But this was a martial art, fantasy, horror comedy. So they were really like, what do we do? If you look up the trailer, the original trailer for the movie, it's like totally different from how the actual film feels and looks. It's like Jack Burton is the man, it's like totally like your typical 80s action hero type of movie, but the movie wasn't even that.
Happily though, this gem has definitely found its way into the hearts of many. It has become a cult classic, and it has earned its place in the pantheon of 80s greatness.
Yes, this definitely does deserve to be up there with the cult classics. Not just because of the really good martial arts scenes. Come on, the fight in the alleyway, man, that was badass. There's so many iconic characters that have influenced pop culture. I mean, we have the lightning character that obviously influenced Raiden for the Mortal Kombat games. And another thing that's awesome about this film is that it's self-aware. It's self-aware, which is awesome. Now, everybody knows about Wire Fu, all right? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, people flying around because of their chi and their powers and stuff like that. The Flying Swordsman type of series, where they flying around, and Iron Monkey and, you know, the classic kung fu films of old, they still have Wire Fu today. But you don't have a movie, a kung fu martial arts horror fantasy comedy, okay, where you have your side character / lead is Jack Burton coming into a scene after seeing the three storms flying around, and he comes into a scene when they meet back at the apartment, and he walks in, and the first thing he says is, "We got people flying around on wires." We got another guy just standing there waiting for me to run my truck straight through him with light coming out of his mouth. That was not real. It was brilliant. Way ahead of its time. Brilliant. So even though this was her number 4, got to cheat a little bit, and this is actually my number 1 John Carpenter film. This was my gateway into the greatness of John Carpenter. And if you're curious about what we think of the remake that's coming up soon, I put a link in the description box below so you get to see how we reacted to that. Don't fuck it up, Hollywood.
Oh.
Don't fuck it up.
They will.
Shit. Number 3.
Halloween. A perfect example of minimalist, slow burn filmmaking. Halloween ushered in a new brand of horror movies. Although you could argue it's incredibly tame by today's standards, this film scared the piss out of audiences back in 1978. Kind of, I would think, with its realistic setting, creative lighting and cinematography, eerie soundtrack, and relatable, realistic characters. And adding vast credibility to the project was casting the veteran, the crafty veteran, the man, the myth, the legend, actor Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis.
Yes.
Michael Myers' sanitarium handler, you might as well call him. Newcomer Jamie Lee Curtis added a level of realism and vulnerability to Laurie Strode, who was very likable, and you genuinely wanted her to survive this insane ordeal. And although the later edition of Michael and Laurie being siblings was interesting, I prefer the original premise of Michael Myers being evil. Purely and simply evil.
The sequels just never lived up to the greatness of this film.
Poopy.
They tried. Halloween 2 actually wasn't that bad. No. And we'll get to Halloween 3 review at another time. But yeah, the sequels just got worse and worse, and yeah, they just kind of tainted the legacy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love watching some of them. There's some guilty pleasures here and there, and it's always fun to watch Michael Myers going around causing havoc. But it's just something about that first film. There's something about that first movie that was very eerie. You know, she looks outside the window at her school and she sees him standing out there. I mean, there's so many iconic, eerie shots, especially the one shot, very expertly done and crafted, was the shadow and darkness shot. And you see Laurie walk by, and then his face, the mask, just slowly appears out of it. No fucking jump scares, okay? Just eerie. No music. No. None of that. Just slowly you see his mask come out of the darkness and look at her. Little things like that, you know. I mean, this really did scare people back in the day. There was an instance where John Carpenter showed his film at a college, and some dumbass stood up at the end of the movie and said, "How could you do this? How could you make a film like this?" And of course, John Carpenter was like, "Really? Really? I mean, it's fantasy, people. It's fantasy, really?" So, yeah. So, we still have idiots like that today, by the way. But yeah, definitely one of his best. Some people say that it is his best film.
Can't argue.
Number 2.
Another amazing film that, what the hell, did not make its budget back. The Thing.
Yes.
The Thing.
Yes. One of the best horror remakes ever.
This 1982 horror sci-fi masterpiece features, great performances, creepy as hell practical effects, suspenseful storytelling, truly claustrophobic and isolated atmosphere. You really feel the tension of these characters as they realize they're being picked off one by one, and they learn that any one of them could be the alien, and you really get that sense of paranoia increasing throughout the film. I love how, spoiler alert, another great Kurt Russell performance, and Keith David is fantastic. I love how their characters' fate is tragic and slightly ambiguous, as you never really know which one of them is the alien. And it's pretty much a given that, they both die by the end of the film. There's no choice. If they manage to escape, the alien has to be surviving in one of them, and they gotta stay put. Gotta, for the greater good.
The greater good. If you look online, okay, and find out the actual number, the budget it cost to make this movie's super low budget, but they were able to pull off these mind-blowing practical effects that still hold up today. Number 1. Well.
Well. They live.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm biased.
It's awesome.
I love Roddy Piper.
Show him the shirt. Show him the shirt. That's right. Represent.
I love Roddy Piper. He was my favorite wrestler of all time. So I'm a bit biased with this, but luckily the movie is great. The movie, it's another great minimalist score by Mr. Carpenter. Spot on performances by the vastly talented and underused. He was a great actor, believe it or not. He had great comedic timing. Roddy Piper, Keith David once again. And Evelyn herself, Meg Foster. Love that girl, love that lady. A gritty style of filmmaking that captures the desperation of people just trying to survive in a really cruel, kind of fucked up world. And the concept of aliens controlling us through subliminal messages via consumerism, aside from the alien part, it's relatable. It is so relatable. Who hasn't felt like a slave to societal norms? Marry and reproduce. Obey. Conform. Consume. Stay asleep. It's a bit too close to home, just with goofy looking aliens. The moment Piper puts the glasses on...
Put the glasses on!
And sees all the subliminal messages that the aliens have implanted for all of us. That's when the movie really picks up. And he realizes that he really needs help in all this, and he needs somebody else to see what he sees. So he tries to get Keith David to put the glasses
on!
David repeatedly refuses, and what follows is one of the best, most brutal, and exhausting fights ever committed to celluloid.
Yes.
David and Piper have great chemistry, and one of my favorite moments with them, of course, is the not only just the fight in the alley, but the aftermath. Just to see two guys who have properly beat the shit out of each other, bruised, swollen, and bloody, just kind of limping down the street. And then just slowly walking into the motel room. And once again, Mr. Carpenter is not afraid to give us not quite a so happy ending, which I immensely appreciated. The ending was so appropriate. I wouldn't have
Still awesome ending.
I would not have it any other way.
No.
And it also features one of the greatest ad-libs in cinema history.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So that was our top 5 John Carpenter list. What are your top 5 John Carpenter films? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Put the glasses on! You know, you give us your own list. Give us your own list. We'll read it. We love it.
Outtakes.
Oh, man.
Outtakes. Okay. Number. Sorry. Oh, we got some outtakes for this one. Okay. The
Oh,
shit. If you watch a harp, yeah, fuck.
what just happened?
Did I just spit on the camera? Really? Wow.
That was amazing.
Oh. Is that going on outtakes too?
But you just saw it, folks. That was a real spit take.
Fuck.
That was amazing. That was pinpoint accuracy at its finest. But we know that everyone's opinion is different. So, by all means, fellow...
I can't talk.
All right.